Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I guess this is the last video of the day. Well, we have, New York is really going out and just doing its citizens wrong. Of course, they voted for this, so I guess they get what they deserve. But, yeah, I guess they're going to have more riots and more issues going on in New York City because they know that they can't be punished for it. So, without further ado, I'll get right to it. Ex-NYPD boss Ray Kelly in New York City's $6 million settlement with protesters is disgraceful. New York's former top cop on Sunday slammed the city for agreeing to pay out $6 million to protesters who were pinned in and some of them beaten or pepper sprayed by NYPD officers during a 2020 demonstration in the Bronx. Ray Kelly, LE1, who twice served as NYPD commissioner under Mayors David Dinkins and Mike Bloomberg, said the settlement agreement signed off on a federal judge was disgraceful. All they do is settle these cases. What about going to trial on some of them? Kelly told John Cassavetes on WABC, says that with the AM's Cass Roundtable, the plaintiffs' lawyers know that the city will only throw money at these radical groups and that might amount to them as a payday. And it sure did, or sure it will. He continues. So it is absolutely, I think, gut-wrenching that they continue to do this. His comments came after the city agreed to shell out $21,000 to each to the more than 300 people that were killed by officers in Mott Haven on June 4th, 2020, as they protested police brutality in the aftermath of the on-camera cop killing of George Floyd in Minnesota. In doing out the possibly record-breaking settlement, officials determined that the cops had pinned in demonstrators before a newly imposed 8 p.m. curfew was set to lapse, and then charged at them, battering some with police bats and mace. The incident came after activists had taunted the NYPD with a flyer of burning cop vehicle and egged on fellow demonstrators to violate the newly imposed curfew. The city was facing anarchy, Kelly told Casamatis. The protesters were intent on proving mayhem and grinding the city to a halt. There were several days of violent demonstrations. In this particular case, they violated curfew that Mayor Bill de Blasio put in for 2 nights, he said. The police were forced to take aggressive action and make arrests, and by the way, nobody spent any time in jail as a result of those arrests. Individuals who were arrested that night are set to receive an additional $2,500 under the terms of the settlement. The NYPD had defended the tactics with then Commissioner Durham Shea claiming they were executed nearly flawlessly. Sheila also noted that some of the demonstrators were found to be brandishing hammers, lighter fluid, gas masks, and fireworks. In the citywide riots that lasted for quite a while in the Bronx, in Manhattan, and Brooklyn, about 1,000 cops all told were injured. But you're right, I think it's actually the Cooperation Council, the city's law department, that's looking to settle the cases, Kelly said. Kelly predicted that there would be a payouts made to New Yorkers in connection with the citywide protests. It blamed City Hall for pitting cops against civilians and amid a nationwide reckoning with police brutality at the height of the coronavirus pandemic. If you remember, Mayor de Blasio said to police, "Go easy, Chuckles." He didn't tell that to the demonstrators. He didn't tell that to the people who were injured were 1,000 cops, Kelly said. He should have taken a very hard line. He had to keep the city functioning, and these people were hell-bent on shutting it down. Kelly also changed Albany lawmakers failing to roll back New York's controversial bail reform law, which eliminates bail for non-violent offenders in an attempt to make the justice system more equitable for those in poverty. They're sticking their finger in the eye of New Yorkers because they have the power to do it, he said of the Democratic-dominated legislature. It makes absolutely sense for New York State to be the only state in the union where dangerousness is not considered by a judge. They want it that way, Kelly opined. I agree. And I have more information about this. So let's go to the actual video here showing how NYC has to pay millions over the settlement and all the issues that's been going on there. Take a look at this clip.
A lawsuit with hundreds of protesters from the George Floyd marches in June 2020. Each protester could get more than $20,000 in this agreement.
All right, Fox 5's Linda Schmidt joins us now with more on what police were doing at those protests. Linda.
Yeah, hi there, Steve and Natasha. Well, first of all, the lawsuit is focusing on a policing technique that is called kettling, and that is when officers surround the protesters, they corral them in so they cannot leave, and that it can also make it easier for police to make arrests. Some of the mass demonstrations in the spring of 2020 devolved into rioting and looting. As a result, Mayor de Blasio implemented an 8 p.m. curfew. It was on the second night of that curfew that protesters in the Bronx say they were assaulted, abused, and trapped by police using what is called kettling. corralling people so they cannot move.
This was a peaceful demonstration, and as the protesters made their way down the street, the police officers stopped them, trapped them before the 8 p.m. curfew, kept them from leaving, and then moved in on them from all sides with overwhelming force. They were swinging their batons at people. They were using their fists. They were spraying pepper spray. They physically picked up a few of our clients and threw them onto the ground.
Attorney Allie Frick is one of the lawyers representing more than 200 protesters. The city has now agreed to pay the protesters several $1 million to settle a lawsuit. It will pay each of them at least $21,000.
It demonstrates very clearly that the city knows that what happened on June 4th, 2020 in the Bronx was unacceptable and it was illegal.
This is one of several lawsuits alleging the NYPD abused protesters who demonstrated following the police killing of George Floyd in Minnesota. The NYPD releasing a statement saying, in part, the time period was a challenging moment for the department. It was during the height of the pandemic as police officers covering the George Floyd protests were met with acts of lawlessness, including wide-scale rioting, mass chaos, violence, and destruction. Joseph Giacalone is a retired NYPD sergeant and an adjunct professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice.
You have to be careful that you're sending the wrong message, too, where basically you're saying that the police are neutered from this point on when you have to deal with a situation of civil unrest.
And also for you on this story tonight, since the 2020 racial justice protests, the NYPD says it has implemented new policies and training for large-scale demonstrations. Steve, back over to you.
Very well. All right. Thanks, Linda.
Well, there you have it. It seems that the police are neutered. They can't do really anything. So now this will pretty much embolden the rioters and all the BLM activists to go out, riot, and the police will be afraid to do anything. They can't pepper spray. They can't try to knock them onto the ground to arrest them. They literally cannot do anything. So I'm going to assume there's going to be more riots and more, stuff happening in New York because apparently you can try to do the right thing as a police officer, get punished for it, and then awarded for doing all the crimes. So, yeah, that's what's going to end up happening. Also, by this, it seems that charges against hundreds of New York City rioters, looters have been dropped. Oh, I wonder why that is. It seems this could be quite of a big problem for it looks like. In the Bronx, which fires are in the street and mass looting in 2020, more than 60% of the arrestees have had charges dropped, according to the investigation by NBC New York. 73 of the 118 people arrested in the borough had their cases shoved altogether. Another 19 were convicted on lesser counts like trespassing, which carries no jail time, the report said. 18 cases remain open, with NBC not counting for the other 8 arrests. Those numbers, to be honest with you, is disgusting. Jessica Betancourt, who owns Bronx Eyeglass Store that was looted and is vice president of a local merchants association, told NBC. I was in total shock that everything is being brushed off to the side. Well, Jessica, did you vote Democrat because you also voted for this stuff? Again, this is going to constantly be going. If you in New York, I'm most likely assuming you voted Democrat, unless in New York City, rather, not the outskirts of the rural part of New York, but the city. I'm going to assume you voted Democrat, and you probably voted for this, and you got your store looted, so you get what you voted for. That's disgusting. Now, let's see here. Now we have this: Mayor Del Blasio's daughter, Chiara, arrested in Manhattan protest. Yeah, Chiara de Blasio, 25, was taken into custody around 10:30 p.m. after cops declared an unlawful assembly at 12th Street and Broadway in Lower Manhattan, the sources said. She allegedly had been blocking traffic on Broadway and was arrested for after refusing to move, the source said. That was the real hotspot. Police cars were getting burned there, and people were throwing and yelling, fighting with cops. There were thousands of people in that area at the time, the source said. So, yeah. Apparently, the daughter is also being arrested. This happened in 2020. Granted, guys, this happened in 2021, 2020, and this is just recent. Well, this is 2023. But there's another reason why this is going on and why some of these cases, this case was dropped. We have this here. New York City is making a big push to settle lawsuits before they're even filed. A trio of half-brothers who were wrongfully convicted of murder received a $17 million settlement from the city. The family of a mentally ill former U.S. Marine who died in a hot jail cell was awarded $2.25 million, and a man who spent 23 years behind bars before he was exonerated was given $6.5 million. All these recent settlements were unusual because they were made before any lawsuit had ever been filed, part of an aggressive push by New York City Comptroller Scott Stringer to quickly dispense with civil rights cases that otherwise could drag on for years in the courts and cost millions in legal fees. The Comptroller's office has signaled a willingness to keep doing it, including possibly with the family of Eric Garner, who died following an encounter with police last summer. I do not accept the fact that the cost of settlements and judgments against the city have to rise every year. Stringer said in a statement to Associated Press, "The more money we can save the city on claims and settlements, the more we will have to spend on affordable housing, education, and social services." So, it goes on to say, Stringer has said the city spent $702 million in settlements and judgments in the fiscal year ending last June, an increase of $208 million from the prior year. So they're doing this all to save the state money. So it doesn't matter what type of violence you do, whether it's rape, murder, assault, or any of that matter for a crime, your case will most likely be settled before they're even filed. So I guess lawlessness is allowed in New York City. You are allowed to do whatever you want that's considered a crime, and if you are doing the right thing in New York City, you will be punished for it. Well, I guess there's no really incentive to really do the great things in New York. Probably the reason why people won't help other people in the city, because they'll probably be arrested for it. Well, I guess you get what you voted for, get what you wanted, and now that New York City is going to be a complete and utter chaos. We already seen that New York City is mostly Grand Theft Auto level, but it seems that it's going to become more Grand Theft Auto and more of a chaos third world state. Can't wait to see it. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.